a really interesting day coming to Paris and riding around on Lime bikes, but also visiting the town hall of the centre of Paris area and also Parliament.
Well, Paris has changed unbelievably. I came here in the 1990s and there was a cacophony of engines and horns and gridlock traffic. We've got around Paris on Lime bikes beautifully and safely, and the air quality is better, the noise quality is better, and the whole experience of Paris for me now in this day and age is so much better than it was even 20, 30 years ago.
Quite honestly, I feel quite jealous. And one of the things I've noticed is there's a phenomenal degree of tolerance between pedestrians and cyclists. 20 years ago, I came here and met the Deputy Mayor, Anne Hidalgo, and went straight back to London and said to Ken Livingstone, you've got to start doing what they're doing. But Paris left us behind.
Well, I think the centre of Paris, cars are still prevalent, but they're far, far fewer than they were when I was here 8 years ago. This is a city I know very well, and I've really noticed the changes. It's quite extraordinary. Rue de Rivoli, which was 4 lanes of traffic, is now 1 lane of traffic and 2 lanes of bicycles. It's absolutely incredible, this transformation.
I mean, it's fantastic to see what's happened here. I think the biggest lesson that Paris seems to have discovered is not to let the perfect be the enemy of the possible. So they've kind of evolved their system, and it's grown and grown. And they've used various things like the Olympics, like COVID before it, like other things, to really make the system grow. I think it's really admirable and fascinating to see.
Well, I think the key lesson from Paris and the mayor, Anne Hidalgo, is that if you have put sustained leadership and direction into something, you can achieve significant and radical change very quickly. But you've got to be clear about what you want to do in terms of walking and cycling, and you've got to be able to hold that course. That's what I think we really need to learn in the UK.
The road safety arguments were the main. Because air quality is still a topic again, but it's not that much a big problem that we had 10 years ago. But the role, the accidents and the conflicts in the public space, I think it will become the main argument to continue development.
The cycle lanes on the Rive Droite, the right-hand side of the river, I remember being absolutely full of traffic, and you couldn't dare cross it, and now it's just for people.
Our mission is to build a future where transportation is shared, affordable, and carbon-free.
Une formidable dynamique de développement du vélo.
Since 2018 in France, we promote a very important policy to develop the daily practice of the bicycle.
I think looking at the streets of Paris, which are a much bigger version of the same sort of townscape as parts of central London, in a way, the work that the city authorities have done to create space for cycling, well, has been a real product of success. And in some areas, there's almost too many cycles, too much pressure on the infrastructure. It's just so busy, particularly with cyclists and pedestrians, and to some extent vehicles. But I can see for myself that there really are probably 50% fewer vehicles in the middle of Paris.
I really enjoyed today. It was 3+ hours cycling around
some very beautiful parts of Paris, the centre. I was impressed with some of the changes that the Parisians have made to cycle accessibility, but I did have a momentary concern about whether or not pedestrians are being well served. When I asked about this, they suggested that a lot of measures had been put in very quickly, and it was now time to perhaps improve the quality of them. So that's something I will look out for in the future here in Paris.
French politicians work cross-party together to make this all happen.
The space given over to people on cycles is quite extraordinary, and it's just made a massive difference to the city. Way less traffic, less parked cars everywhere. If you haven't been to Paris for the last 5 years or so, or never been, come. It is utterly transformed. What's not been done so well are the junctions, and that really struck today, sort of cycling through some of the junctions that felt, frankly, a little bit sketchy, and hearing the different reasons why was really interesting, and it shows that nowhere's perfect. So Paris is, one of the leading lights on active travel now in capital cities of Europe, but there's still things that really need to be done better. And just on a similar point, some of the infrastructure that is there is full up already because the demand is there. People want to cycle.
It was really great to hear that Savoie en relais en vélo, which is the French version of bikeability, and we've helped them to set that up, has definitely got the commitment of the French Parliament to grow to make sure that every class in France has the opportunity to learn to cycle.
They've just got on with it. It's actually not perfect, but it's so much better than not having any segregated, designated infrastructure.
And you can see some of it is already too small. And the fantastic thing is the transformation has happened so fast and the buy-in has happened so fast. And I would love to see that pace of change happening in the UK as it has in Paris and as it has in the whole country.
There was talk about the Rugby World Cup, the 2012 Olympics, and indeed coronavirus. And it was almost used as those major events, albeit some good and bad, were used as like a catalyst to instigate change in terms of policy, which ultimately led to infrastructure getting in the ground quick time. And, I can't help but try and translate that thought into our own world. We've got a big, exciting bike race coming in 2027. And I can't help but feel there's potentially an opportunity for us to get our heads together to try and do the same thing.
It's clear that they've had the political will to just get on and do stuff, rather than wait for it to be perfect. And I think there's something to learn from that in terms of actually just making sure you get something delivered, because we spend a lot of time in the UK talking about delivery.
I came expecting Paris to be transformed, and it is. But funnily enough, it's really, really imperfect. And oddly, I don't find that upsetting. I find that really invigorating. Because what they decided to do was just do it. And if that meant it isn't perfect, go back and revisit it and make it perfect further down the line. But do it. Do something.